Hello, everyone. Welcome to the network. Welcome to the Two Dads Edition.
Wait, that's not it.
Start again. What's up, motherfucker?
Two Dads, Gen X Edition. That's a great beginning.
Recording now.
Recording now.
Take 17. Welcome back again. No
What
wheezing
do
the
you
juice.
think you're doing? Oh, I got a joke for you. Ready?
No wheezing the juice.
No more wheezing the juice. Yeah.
All
All right, I got a joke for you. You ready?
Yeah.
So, World War II, there's an American pilot gets shot down over Germany.
Oh.
Okay.
We think you're trying to escape.
Fuck you. Sorry.
It's a good joke, though. Okay.
It is a good one. It is a good one.
So he gets shot down.
No, it's too late. You already got the punchline out.
I know, but, it's good.
I got another one for you, though.
Okay.
All right. Cruise. There's a nice cruise going on. There's this big defense attorney.
Tom Cruise?
No, not Tom Cruise.
Santa Cruz?
Like,
Belinda Cruz?
would you listen to the joke?
Get ready.
Oh, we need to turn it on.
Because we can't stop without the porn music.
It's not porn music. It's 70s mood music.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
On
Anyway.
a cold, cold night. Okay, tell your joke.
No, I don't want you now.
You don't remember it.
No, I do.
So this guy gets shot down.
No. All right. I'll tell you the joke. All right, so there's a cruise. There's a big defense attorney. Everybody hates him. He's got some really bad people off, and he's on a cruise, and everybody is like despising him, all that kind of stuff. And there's an announcement as they're passing by some islands.
So he's a cruise coordinator. Got it.
Sure. And so there's an announcement that says, hey, stay away from the railings. We don't want anybody to go overboard. These are shark-infested waters. They're known for being man-eaters. And then there's a splash and man overboard. And somebody pushed over that defense attorney. And so they throw it out a life preserver thingy, but they just like, all right, we'll let the islands know to be expecting parts on the shore. So a few hours later, beach patrol is going by, and they see this guy in a suit, because he's an attorney, so they always wear suits, right? So he's coming out of the water just dripping wet and exhausted. And they're like, wait, did you just fall off of that ship? And then he's like, yeah, somebody pushed me in. He's like, and the beach patrol says, how did you survive this? These are shark-infested waters. And he goes, professional courtesy.
Yeah. Because he's a shark.
I thought that was hilarious.
You thought wrong.
All right, fine.
Oh, wait, what does the audience think?
Yeah, they like it. Yeah,
they
okay.
like it,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Wave. Wave.
Yep.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Seriously.
I'll be here all week.
You can stop. Like, no, seriously. Stop. Shut up. Stop. Got it.
There we go.
Thanks. Holy moly.
All right, so I have a question for you.
No.
I have a question for you.
No, I won't make out with you. Chloroform.
Do you think that it is how much or how it's handled that causes money to be such a horrible thing, a big reason for divorce?
I did not realize you were going with money on that one.
Yeah.
How much or how it's handled?
I was talking about money, dirty-minded individual.
And I've definitely been in 3 situations that didn't matter how much because we had much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely handled. I think how you handle it and what you do with it. Money is one of the major contributors to divorce.
Yeah, it's right up there with infidelity.
I think it's...
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's such a big thing?
Well, you got 2 different backgrounds. So if you have someone that's like comes from a super rich background, as a kid, you're not earning it, so then you're more willing to spend it, kind of thing. If your parents didn't raise you to save, respect the earning of money. And then if you have the other side that they came from really poor, you want things that you didn't have when you were younger, so you spend, and you don't know how to save. And I think you add in the Rockefeller, when he designed the school system, they designed the school system to create basically slaves and workers. Just workers. They can never get above in the world because it's like you're meant to be this poor, stricken, poverty. In my thing, we literally are slaves to taxation in this country, in most countries.
But why do you think that money is at such a level as infidelity when it comes to the reasons for divorce?
Communication. So I think, honestly, that's why we did these 4 episodes kind of combined, because it's like we want to talk about communication, we're talking about money, talking about the different things, role reversals, things that break up people. And what it really boils down to in every scenario
is communication.
Yeah.
Well, and I know for me, like the money issue has been an issue in past marriages, but it's not so much about the communication, because we communicated, but it wasn't followed through, and so it eroded the trust.
Yeah, you get the trust, the power, the value of it. You get do you have the same values? Do you have the same goals? Self-worth. Some people think that their self-worth and their life is defined by how much money they make. I mean, you look at some of these insanely corrupt people, like Soros and Gates and all them, that they get so much money that they think they can just start controlling people. Yeah. And I think marriages are that way too. I think some people have that mindset, I earn the money, so I get to control everything I do, versus we're a team. You might not make as much as me, but what you do does still contribute to us. I think.
Well, what was the example you had growing up? So, I mean, like for me, my dad was the breadwinner. He was an attorney, and I didn't know how tight things were financially.
A kid should
have stuff, right?
Yeah, a kid should never know. You should never know what your parents make. You shouldn't fucking ask. You shouldn't.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that's valuable?
Because I think if the kid thinks they're super rich, then they don't value what they have. They get this mindset they could just be replaced. Right. I grew up poor, earned my way up, and fought. I didn't have any white fucking privilege. And just so you guys know, it's actually a rich privilege, not a certain race privilege. Anyone that says otherwise, you're not seeing society for what it really is. Yeah. I agree. So I had to learn to appreciate what I have. Like, I still have a 5-disc CD changer downstairs that still works. It just can't connect to anything because all the connections are outdated. I had a TV till I was 25. That was the TV they bought when I was born, and the reason it was destroyed was because Chandler shot a BB through it. Kind of thing. Cars used to be able to maintain and take care of yourself. Now they're made to not be able to do that. Yeah. Your homes. People that take pride in their home. So would you call yourself a spender or a saver? Initially a spender, wanting to be a saver. I think I'm down the middle. It's like I actually did really good at getting out of debt, busting my ass to get out of debt, to, again, just having to start again for the 3rd time. Sucks because you're not where you want to be in life when you get to 50 and you don't have much to show. I think a lot of it can get in your head because you're like thinking, oh, I should have this, should have this, should have this. And really the only thing I want is a happy, healthy relationship and spending time with my kids and my partner. Right. I don't need to own shit. I can't take it with me kind of thing. My daughter, she definitely saw us starting out as a family, poor, and building up that money, and then now, they're good. And so I think a lot of it is your core values. Warren Buffett, I think, he didn't buy a new car till like literally recently. He always bought used cars, old cars. But then you got people that are in the finance world that they feel like they have to have the biggest and greatest to show that they're successful, and you really don't. Yeah. Did you ever find yourself trying to justify buying stuff? Like, did you ever make decisions financially that you regretted, but you didn't want to admit it? Oh, no, I think everyone has that. It's like, oh, I should have bought that Lego set. I really couldn't afford it, but I really needed that quality time, the entertainment for myself, because I was, like, strapped mentally. Vacations. I think vacations are one of the big things. Like, I'd rather go in debt on a vacation than I would on Christmas. See, I find that interesting because I don't want to go into debt on any of it. I don't want to, but if I was going to go into debt, there's like car, house, school, and then maybe vacations that I know I'm going to pay off. But ideally, I'd rather save up to go on it.
So for me, it's education, house, car.
Yeah.
Right. But car that's a kind of a subjective thing. You don't have to have a $100,000 car. I mean, I drive a BMW, right?
But you bought it used.
And almost 100,000 miles on it. Yeah. I bought it for $13,500 was the sale price on it. It's a 11-year-old car. It's a BMW. It's nice. It drives well. Now that I fixed it. But
yeah.
But that also allows me to so for me it's not about like the fancy car. I'd love to have a brand new car. That'd be great. Yeah. I can't justify the purchase of a brand new car.
Yeah, and God, dude, as a kid, we went to so many police auctions, and I would buy these $200 cars, and we'd drive them until they were gone or destroy them. And I got tired of it, going, crap, is my car going to start? Is my car going to start? So I got in that trend of buying new, which now I regret because I have gotten so backwards because of buying new. But also American cars have gotten so overpriced.
Every car's gotten so overpriced.
American cars specifically. I mean, you can go to a Toyota dealership, and the markup on Toyotas is maybe $500. The markup on most American cars are like $12,000 to $18,000. Sometimes $30,000, depending on what you're looking at.
Well, then they do the dealer packages that are required that are an extra $30,000.
And it's like, well, I don't need those tires, that rim, that launcher.
But you don't get a choice.
I don't need the smoke screen. Take the smoke screen out. I don't need the James Bond flip the car.
Right, but that's that kind of goes to the emotion of the purchase, right? It's people like I've got a client who he bought a car that he had a friend of his or somebody that knew that had the same exact car as like a brand new Ford Expedition or something like that, and it was all black and nice rims and all this stuff. He's like, I like that, and so he found one at a dealership and financed it, and it was way more than he intended to spend, and now he's feeling the financial stress.
Well, yeah, and I definitely could agree with that because I got rid of my Jeep to get a truck to do traveling as a travel nurse, and then that when we broke up, that whole goal was not necessarily gone, but then it's like I could not find a trailer cheap enough and then a house and all that stuff, so I eventually bought a house instead.
But what were some of the stressors financially in your marriage and then in relationships and stuff? What were some of the negative things that happened?
Well, I mean, the first one definitely was overspending on her part. I think a lot of it was just she liked to shop to compensate from depression and stuff. And then I think added on me trying to get us out of debt, added that stress of, okay, I'm dictating how we spend our money. I'm dictating what you can and can't buy. And
did it create a lot of resentment?
I'm sure it did. Just because I'm like, hey, we're this far in debt, we have to lock it down and we have to get this out of control, or get it controlled. So I had to be the bad guy, and I knew it. Criticism, we talked about role reversal in our previous podcast, and it was hard for me as the one not making the crap ton of money to be the one saying we need to rein it in when her mentality was, well, I'll match what you match kind of attitude. We'll only have millions versus thousands.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So then I was the one not able to get new clothes, not able to get deodorant. Stuff that I needed. Like I needed new scrubs, then I would have to sell something of mine to be able to afford the scrubs because I'm, trying not to spend more.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so that was hard, and I hated it. And so when we actually got out of it, I was so happy that we could move forward. And then, we bought this $1 million home, and it just ultimately led to that my resenting her and her resenting me. And ultimately just, I don't want to live like this anymore kind of thing.
So did you feel like you guys had two totally different perspectives on how to manage money?
Oh, yeah, because I'm the one paying the bills, but then she's the one earning more. So I learned then that it's good to sit down, discuss the bills, what the expectations were, what...
Did you feel like you were trying to convert her to think like you?
Probably, but I also converted myself to think differently. So I was trying to get her to start thinking more on it as a team. But then it didn't feel like that way. It just felt like I was trying to control her and control how we were spending. And that's that wasn't my intent. My intent was just like, let's get out of debt so we have more money to spend on things that we want, like our kids and vacations. And we don't need a new couch every 2 years. We don't need this every year, kind of thing.
One of the things I found with my second wife when we first got together, her parents had separate accounts. My parents, it was all joint. I mean, I don't know how many accounts they had, but they worked together on it all financially. So I had the mindset of, if we're on the same page because we're both looking at the bills, we're looking at the expenses, we're looking at the income, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter who makes what because we're pooling it all together and we're working towards goals together.
Yeah.
That was hard for her at first, but I think I kind of converted her to that mindset. But then when it came down to it, we didn't really... It didn't get followed through on, right? And so there were lots of like little purchases and stuff that it started eating away at that trust that we were going to work towards the same goals together.
Yeah, and the evolution. It's funny that I had to evolve through 3 different people. Only married to one.
You saved a ton of money because of that.
Yeah. Jesus. But I really didn't, though. I mean, I still spent a lot of money that I could have used on my kids and stuff. But no, I think the big thing was, you start to get in that feeling you're constantly justifying your purchases. I think it's like, well, I want this. Well, I want this. Well, then you get that. I'll get that. Then you started bargaining, and then we were spending more than we really needed to. And so I had a father figure that... he was really keen on multiple accounts. He goes, you have your bill account. And you sit down every month and you really go through, okay, these are bills. Okay, our heating went up $30, so then we need to add 15 more each kind of thing. And then you had your personal accounts, which, that it pays for your, the beauty projects. It's your games. It's your... stuff for the podcast kind of thing.
Right.
It's your personal, but you're putting your money in that. And then hopefully the one thing I didn't have with anybody was our future account.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're both putting $100 in here in this bank account, and neither of us are judging it until the day we retire, kind of thing. And then you have your vacation account, and you have, and I think with the first person after my ex-wife, really good at doing that. But the flip side was, I'm working 5 days a week, 4 to 5, and she's just doing the 3.
Yeah.
So then what happened is basically I'm paying for all the dates, I'm paying for all the food, I'm paying for all the alcohol, I'm paying for, vacations. Sometimes vacations would be like, cool, let's split it. It's this much. You owe me this by this date, kind of thing. No, like
that's what you would say to her, or she would say to you.
Would say to me, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I financially can't do that right now, kind of thing. And it was like, well, too bad. That's what I want. This is what I need, kind of thing. The third one.
Wait. She would say, too bad. That's what I want.
Yeah, like I want to go on this vacation. So if you want to come with me, then you need to come up with this money, kind of thing.
No consideration to the financial burden on you.
No, and that was more because of COVID. I had this sense of I need to work. I'm not just going to get on unemployment and suck the tit of the system that's broken. So, she was able to get on unemployment pretty quick. And so then eventually I erased all my savings and felt bad, and eventually I had to go on unemployment too for a while. But that was stressful because it's like when we weren't making a lot of money, because we both made the exact same, but I worked more. So I made more. And so in her mind, it was, well, cool, you can pay for everything else.
Yeah.
And down the road, okay, I got the liquor, you got the food. Well, then what I found is she was just buying what her kids wanted and what she wanted, but she would never ask, like, hey, what do you want?
Gotcha.
Kind of thing. So that was my first lesson of...
Did you feel like that was a betrayal?
Only when... Not until she started bitching about it.
Okay, why did that make it... Why did that change make it feel like a betrayal?
Well, because I I was like, hey, did you get the bread I wanted? Did you get this that I like I had meal plan and stuff like that? Hey, did you get the eggs? No, I only got enough for my kids. Well, why didn't you? Well, because you don't help me with the groceries. I'm like, well, you don't help with going out. You don't help with...
Right.
And then eventually it became this tit for tat. Like, I did all the home improvements. I paid for every fucking thing in that house to improve. And I didn't get, hey, how much was that bug spray? Can I help pay for half? You know,
right.
Bug spray's like $60. So it was frustrating because it's like, here was blowing my money to maintain the home, take us on trips, pay for dinners. So I felt like it was very one-sided.
Yeah.
And then when we separated, lo and behold, she had like $25,000 in the bank.
You didn't know about it?
No, and I had like maybe $1,000. I'm like, how do you have so much money? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, I know why, because I'm fucking paying for everything.
Right.
Kind of thing. So it was just kind of...
Was that the first time that happened? Like,
no, because I knew she was
accounts?
hiding money, but it was also the second person that hid money from me kind of thing. So
what does that do to you? Like, for you, what does that do when you realize that they've been squirreling money away as you've been forking over all this money for everything?
A little betrayed because you start to feel like, oh, we aren't a team. You know, you're hiding money from me, you're hoarding. But she was doing that because she was secretly trying to get ready for a life with someone else, kind of thing.
Yeah, that definitely gets rid of trust.
So yeah, there's that.
I know, like when my first wife and I were going through the divorce, I couldn't live in the house anymore. We tried to cohabitate for a little bit, but it was too difficult for me, and so I ended up buying another house. This is in Georgia, so it's a lot cheaper, but I ended up buying another house, and I was, looking at financing and all that kind of stuff. And she said, hey, if you need help with the down payment, I've got, X thousands of dollars that I can loan you. Well, up until that point, I was being told that we were almost 30 days late on all the bills, that we were super tight financially. We didn't have any money. And then I was like,
well, wait a minute. Wait, what?
Yeah. So where did all this money come from? What about I thought we were tight financially. That's why we had been cohabitating, because we couldn't afford to split yet.
Well, yeah, I think it goes back to like the I've seen couples where one spouse is like going to the casino and just spending all the savings.
Yeah.
And the other one has no idea. And I know that's something some financial planners have to deal with. It's like, hey, your spouse is spending $20,000 of the $10,000 budget, every month.
Right. So
what are we going to do about that? And they're not going to step in and go, hey, you need to get your shit together. You're going to be poor. They just go, hey, this is kind of where we're at. You need to kind of rein it in, kind of stuff. And I think that's where I was getting, where I kind of felt like I was being lied to a lot and betrayed a lot. And ultimately, it goes down to communication, healthy communication. And like, let's say if so-and-so buys perfume, that's actually one of the biggest arguments is like, should a girl be made to feel bad because she's buying all the makeup and all the stuff to get pretty for you, kind of thing. And it's like, well, no, obviously not.
Right.
I want her to do what she does to help her feel good, which then makes me feel good and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I also don't. Do you need to spend $300 on a foundation?
Yeah,
do you need
absolutely do those things, but not at the detriment of everything else?
Does the guy really need the $500 tool to do the one job?
Right.
All of us will say yes, and just like we say yes to the foundation, we need it to look good. And it's weird. That's where the personal accounts come from. Having those personal accounts, I think, allows those people to do that kind of thing. And the great thing is having that understanding. And I know from my friend Mark, they have their fun money, and so he knows he can spend this much on D&D, he can spend this on new games that he wants, new music, but they give each other an allowance, and it's like they can spend into that allowance, and they don't count cosmetics, they don't count, laundry and stuff like that. But that's where I've seen other people fail, is the guy counts cleaning products is the girl's money.
Yeah.
You know, kind of crap, and said, no, this is household appliances,
Right.
household needs.
Right.
You know, and so I think ultimately it goes back down to what we were talking about these last 3 episodes: communication.
Yeah. What do you think the change of having kids causes?
What it's now like $1.5 million to raise a kid in their lifetime, just 1 through 18 or something like that.
Yeah, that's
it used to be like 500,000. Now it's like even higher.
Well, that's if you're buying everything brand new and you're getting the latest, greatest stuff, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I raised 5 kids on like $30,000 a year.
Yeah, that's true. Steak and eggs every morning.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's, you know, if you're buying brand new everything for each child, because I had 5 kids, right? And if I bought everything brand new, I would never have been able to afford it.
Well, and I can definitely say having kids can either align you or break you even more. Because if you have a spouse that's buying Jack and Jill of everything and they're spending $60 on a shirt and a pair of shorts for their fucking kid,
right,
that you can sell for $4 later, that's not good either. You know, if you're making your kid feel like they have to have the latest and greatest, that's on you, because you provided the latest and greatest and made them think that that's normal. And you're actually doing your kids a disservice by doing that, because they're not going to be able to do that. And what happens is they go and get a fucking credit card at age 21.
Yeah, or 18.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when the
dog's walking by.
I think it's funny when you know, people throw huge birthday parties for a 1-year-old.
Yeah, I think it's the dumbest fucking thing on the planet. I mean,
spending like $5,000-$6,000, and they have this and they have that. It's like the kid's not going to remember a thing. You're not doing it for the kid. You're doing it for you.
Yeah, or their family, because like the family made you feel like you had to. I'm like, why?
Right.
They're not going to remember it. Just single fucking cake. They put their face in, and then they're good.
What about like budgeting for like college? Did you ever do that? I never could.
We did the Gerber thing for Quinn. And I know Kira, we started like a $50 a pay period, I think, for both of them. Now, obviously, that's different now, but I know you're like, you got to pay for yourself, and that's kind of what I felt like too. But
well, I told them that because I told my kids, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to help you for college if you want to go to college, so you're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and that's how everybody should be, is don't assume they're going to pay for it, kind of thing. Yeah.
So in what ways do you think that money can actually help a relationship?
I've seen those people that are so good at communication and I think achieving goals, like that's the one thing that I really learned in marriage counseling, is having the small goals that you achieve together. It's like, hey, I really fucking hate this couch. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's figure out what we need to do to save up to get this couch. Like our vacation, we didn't do the whole let's put on a credit card and then pay for it. We're actually doing the pay as you go. So by the time we actually go on vacation, it's already paid for and done. Yeah. And that's kind of the best way to do it, is like, okay, cool. We want to go on this $4,000 trip in 7 months divided by 7.
How much we need to save each month?
And then boom, you're there.
But why do you think that's a good thing, though?
Because
what's the benefit?
I think it actually puts less stress on the actual vacation. You can actually enjoy your vacation. You know, because I've had like, okay, we have $1,000 for food for 5 days. That's a pretty big budget,
right?
And you can do. Now, our goal isn't to spend it all. The goal is just to
not have to worry.
Eat where we want to fucking eat.
Yeah.
You know, get a drink if we want to drink. You know, hey, we want quesadillas, or just cook quesadillas, kind of thing. But I've been on vacations where money's tight. We barely have $500, and we go on this vacation, and this is my ex that it's like, hey, let's go on this vacation. I'm like, well, hey, money's really tight. I mean, we've got like $200, and then we get there, and she'd be like, okay, well, you're paying for this, you're paying for this, and you're paying for this. I'm like,
you guys didn't talk about that before you left?
Don't have the money for that. And so then I'm getting a brand new credit card and getting all this stuff to pay for it, because I didn't want to come across as a deadbeat.
That's horrible.
And it made me feel like shit because I couldn't
Yeah.
afford to go. I felt
And then you get
guilty.
the burden of additional debt.
And then added more debt. So then I'm like, okay, now I can't spend this time with my kids. I can't do this. So, that relationship was just so manipulative too.
Yeah, I think for me what it does is like, the benefit of money is if you two are talking about what the goals are and each person sees the sacrifices and the efforts to reach those goals, when those goals are reached, you can trust each other financially.
Yeah, and they actually say, like, doing that as a couple, even the small things, really helps. And it's a big purchase. Anything over $500, you should talk. And I
have a much lower number than that.
I was going to say $250. I think mine was $250.
Still much lower than that. If it's $50 or more.
Well, $50 is almost everything nowadays. But
still, no. I mean, if it's an unexpected $50, I mean, depending how tight things are, because I'm a therapist, so I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so when I've got a buffer in my budget, I don't do the multiple accounts for everything. I've heard that concept and I like it. I just haven't transitioned to it yet. But I have a buffer, and so that way, if there is something that I want, okay, as long as everything else is paid, I make sure that all the bills are paid first. Everything that needs to be done is done, and then I have room for some unexpected things that may come up.
Yeah.
Then if I have extra, then I can go and get what I need to get or what I'd like to get. But beyond that, it's like if things are really tight, and because I think the trap of like if it's less than a certain amount of money, then you don't have to say anything. Well, what if it's that much every day? It adds up.
Yeah. I mean, like the person's like, hey, I'm going to Starbucks every day, spending $10 a day. I mean,
it's only $10, so I don't have to tell you. And then it's
$3,000 a month that you're spending on coffee. I mean,
yeah, that's why I say my threshold is much, much lower, because it's like, and it's not necessarily like you have to get permission from the other person. It's just like, hey, I was thinking about buying this. Are you cool with that? Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Or, hey, I'm really worried about finances. All right, well, I'll hold off on it until we can figure it out. But it builds that trust. You're communicating about it, right? But in both of my marriages, I was the primary breadwinner. I was the sole provider, basically, and so it was my time that I was sacrificing for that money. And if it was frivolously used, I felt like it was a disrespect to the sacrifices I was making.
Yeah. Well, and I also look at the fact that you have some people that be like, oh, hey, I bought this, so you owe me this much. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, hold on a second. Yeah. It's like, we didn't talk about that. So like a great example is like, we pulled a tree out that was toxic and, it wasn't cheap. And I bought new trees. So I bought like 40 trees for $500.
Okay.
Well, I did it out of me, and no part of me was like, you owe me half.
Right.
Because one, I didn't talk to her about it, and two, it's something that I planned on doing anyway, and so it's not a goal that we did together kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, going forward, just in general, like if we talk about every little thing.
Well, and that's the thing. That's how you get on the same page with stuff, right? What are some good ground rules that you would suggest, as far as like the experiences that you've had with dating, with marriage and all that kind of stuff? What, with all the ups and downs that you've had financially, what are good ground rules you think couples should have?
I think definitely short-term goals that you both can achieve to start building that trust and accomplishment together. I think that's the big one. I think when you both achieve things as a unit, it does build that confidence in your partner and stability, security, just because it's like, cool, I can count on that person to commit with me to those things that we want. I think, sitting down and sharing the burden of things, I think that's the one thing that's nice with equality and everything. It is getting more equal to sit down, and the people that are happy, they bust it together, and then the ones that still have the traditional roles, they communicated those things. It's like, hey,
they
honey,
trust each other in those roles.
The oven's going out, like I'm really having a hard time, and the husband's like, oh, fuck, okay, hopefully I can fix it. But if I can't, then let's go look together. We don't have to buy the latest and greatest. We can just find the best deal that works for our family.
Yeah,
living within your means.
Yeah, definitely that, and that's a struggle. But for a lot of people, there was a story I heard about a couple who was building a house, and I talked about it, to you before we started recording. But where this couple was building this beautiful home. It was like $1 million home, that kind of thing. And, he wanted she said she wanted a certain style of home, and he was like, yeah, let's build you the home of your dreams. And then as it went on, the costs kept going up because she kept on changing her mind what she wanted. She wanted fancier this and more expensive that. And she would say, well, you said you wanted to build me the home of my dreams. This is the home of my dreams. And it ended up being almost twice as much as the original cost. And then they got divorced.
Yeah.
And, what it makes me think about is, okay, one, he was trying to do something really good, really nice to her, build something that she really liked, that she'd enjoy, and that she'd feel, wonderful in. But they had a budget, and she didn't value the budget. She just did what she wanted. And I could imagine being somebody who paid for a lot of stuff, that it was, you keep on adding to this. My income's not going up. The costs are going up, and you're not respecting the cost, the value of what this is. You keep on wanting and wanting and wanting and wanting. And if that's who you are, then maybe this was a mistake, kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that's... I mean, we don't know what the relationship was like. I mean,
No.
For all we know, he was saying, yeah, babe, I want you to have what you want. I want what you want. And then eventually it goes up to $1.8 million. And he's like, I feel used and abused. But maybe he never said no.
Well, the story that I heard was that he
No.
would complain about it, but and she would push. And she would say, well, you said I could have my dream home, kind of thing. So
I made him feel bad. He's
Yeah.
like, well, shit, I didn't know that. Well, and I know you talked about kids and the sudden burdens with kids and education and clothes and birthday parties and using those tools. I mean, I think it goes back to that financial stability in the future. I think having common goals with your kids, family, all that stuff is kind of important as you decide, do you raise a family?
yeah,
It's like, hey, we're not buying 65 toys just because our budget's $200. We don't need those many toys,
right. Toys are going to break and get lost, or
with my kids, I always wanted to get one nice, something special, unique for Christmas from me. And now they're at that teenage years that one thing's my budget, kind of thing. And, I don't want them to feel like I suck because I didn't spoil them, but I never got $500 of stuff. My 16th birthday, I got a kite, one of those $2 kites. That's all my mom could do.
Yeah.
And I remember her being in tears getting that kite, and I was like, "It's all right, let's go outside and fly it." And of course, the wind was so hard it broke right off the bat, and we had a good laugh about it. And I was like, "No, man, it's cool, man. It's all good. I know you're doing your best."
That was cool of you.
So, and I felt it too. Like I truly meant it. I wasn't like, "Man, this fucking sucks" reporting. It's like, and I didn't need to go steal something. Kind of bullshit. I just respected my mom and what she did for us, and I always told her my birthday present is I had a home over my head for a year. I had the clothes that I have food. I go, that's what you did for me. I didn't need a...
You were such a good son.
I tried to be, 'cause it's just hard. It's hard on the family, and, I think to really align your goals with each other, I think you really do have to have commonality and goals that helps you improve. So if I look at where we're at, it's we have short-term goals and long-term goals. Long-term goal is finish the backyard, finish the basement. But the short-term goals is, all right, let's get out there. And, I love that she's doing it with me. And I think that's the key is you can be financially in the same place, but if you're also doing it together,
I think that
key. Even adds more. So like when we walk outside, hopefully in 2 years, we have this beautiful backyard and we both can look at each other. It's like we financially both paid for this. We both built it together. And that's what's more enjoyable than, the guy that's paying for it, busting his ass for it back there. And the wife's like, oh, I don't like that colored brick.
Right.
Tear it up and do it again.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can't afford that crap. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too on the nose, but.
Well, and that's we're talking from our perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's about when we have those goals, when we're actually going out and making purchases, or we're not making purchases, they align with those goals. I remember an experience where my first wife and I talked about getting out of debt. Credit cards were kind of maxed out. I'd been working on, we were working on sacrificing, paying them down, and there was some good room on a credit card. And I came home from work, and there's just bags of clothes. And I was like, what happened to paying off the credit card? Well, we needed this. We needed these. Well, the majority of the clothes were for her and for my oldest. And there were some clothes for the other kids, too. But it was like, they have plenty of clothes. We didn't need any clothes. We were working on trying to get out of debt. And it was like, we had this room on the credit card that's now almost completely gone. And and we never talked about it. We never talked about her going shopping for clothes.
Oh, that's basically the mentality of, because there's parents who are like, I feel shitty. My daughter's sad. My son's sad. Oh, I want to do something nice for him. Mm-hmm. But that's buying their love kind of thing.
Well, it's trying to give them something that we weren't able to have on our own, or we feel inadequate. It's not necessarily buying their love, but trying to fulfill a shortcoming that we feel.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but it's not at the detriment of the finances.
Yeah, and the family. It's hard.
Yeah. So, in conclusion here, what do you think is the most valuable piece of advice that you could give to anybody listening, based on your experience?
I think communication, dialogue, really communicating this. I mean, there's times it's like, I really need this. How can I get it done? And vice versa. And I'm like, we'll figure it out. Let's get it done. If you need it, we'll get it figured out. So it's like that desire to have that financial security, that teamwork and commonality and goals to really eliminate the financial part of the relationship, so it's not a burden.
Yeah.
And I think honestly living below your needs, I mean, because most people's goal in general is just being financially secure. Now, to some people, that's being so rich you can afford everything and do anything and buy whatever you want. Some other people's like, no, we want steak tonight and we can have steak tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Honey, get the kids. We're going to Sizzler.
Going to Sizzler.
Yeah.
We got 9 kids. We're getting a 9-ounce filet. We're all going to split an ounce.
No, I think, there's been a common theme in the last couple episodes where it all comes down to communication, and communicating what our intentions are, finding that common ground, recognizing that we come from different places, right?
Yeah.
My perspective on finances is different than my partner's perspective on finances, probably. And so if we're communicating and talking through what those perspectives are, valuing what each other values financially, and finding that balance. But again, it comes back to that communication and being able to respect and trust each other.
True that.
All right. So.
You go, all right.
All right. Okay.
All right. Anyway.
So, all right. Well, thank you for listening in. Hopefully this has been beneficial for you. Dawson and I like talking, and so that's why we do this, because we love it.
Talking circus. Everybody talks too much.
All right. Well, like and follow, hit subscribe, and let us know what you think about the podcast. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
So, join us every Tuesday, and join us every day for our dad jokes.
Yeah, we're trying to get those out every single day. I think we've missed a day or two. Well, I have missed like 2.
It's like you took a pie to the face.
I took a pie to the face because I didn't get as many views on my dad jokes. You won.
Sucker.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Stay classy, Kansas City.
Woohoo.